Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Steve Eats Things on the Internet. I can only assume that you are as bored as I am. Normally I do these after A&D Con, where my fellow author and podcaster and good friend, Robert Bevan, gives me a packet of Pringles from South Korea, a land with many admirable things going for it. Idea of what a Pringle is supposed to be, not one of those admirable things. Something of a national flaw. But that's by the by, because there was no A&D Con this year. It has been postponed until next year. But luckily, one of our listeners stepped in and sent me a package of Australian treats. Assume it's a box full of spiders and kangaroo testicles, because that's just what Australia is, according to my narrow, myopic mind. Well, let's get into it. Let's see what this Australian bag of dicks, Australian bag of treats has in store. Right, a not at all ominous box. Let's see what we got. What do these look? At first glance, surprisingly normal. In fact, almost mundane. I don't know. Shapes. I mean, that is an unimaginative name. I think I would dearly like to be a marketer in Australia, because they have got the easiest fucking job in the world. Got Vegemite and cheese shapes. I mean, Vegemite and cheese. It's the combination we've all been clamouring for. Cherry ripe. Now, sounds a bit dirty, doesn't it? Sounds a bit weird. Here we have a tiny parcel of Vegemite. As black as Satan's asshole. I'm sure it is. It is delicious. Violet Crumble. It's the way it shatters that matters. Again, these Australian marketing boards. What's the principal selling point of this treat? Well, it's the way it shatters. Ooh. Well, that wasn't great. I've seen things shatter better than that. Come on, Australia, get your act together. Chomp. Yeah, nice try, mate. We've got Crunchies. You're not nearly as sophisticated as you think you are. I've eaten a Crunchie. You think I'm some kind of rube? Twisties. Now, I can't see anything on the pack, but I'm going to assume that these are called so because of their shape. So, extra points for not just calling it another shape or different shape. Anzac Biscuit. I mean, that looks tough. That's a tough looking biscuit. Tim Tam. Now, these to me look a bit like a biscuit we have that's called a penguin. For all I know, Tim Tam might be Australianese for penguin. I don't know. I'm not as worldly as I make out to be. Ooh, I'm not sure if this is problematic at all. I guess we'll see. Oh, and a little caramello koala. I heard that koala bears have chlamydia. I can't wait to eat this. Yeah, let's get right into this. We're going to start with the Vegemite and cheese shapes. The imaginatively imaginatively named shapes. Apparently, can you find any shaped like a tassie? Can you find any tassie-shaped crackers? No, because I don't know what a tassie is. It's not even sure tassie is a thing. Let's get into this. It certainly is a shape. A Vegemite, or Marmite, as we call it on my little island, famously divisive. You either love it or hate it, apparently, or completely indifferent. It's up to you. It's generally some kind of yeast paste, I guess. Not a fan. Never really tried it. Didn't like the look of it. But cheese, you know, everyone likes cheese. Unless you're lactose intolerant, in which case God has cursed you. Alright, let's try this. That is a kind of a nice, reliable, crunchy cracker going on there. Very salty, very cheesy. Good, yeah, excellent. It's got some weight to it. I don't know what shape that is. Is it a birdie of some kind? So, I don't know. For this Aussie legend, apparently it's an Aussie legend. Not necessarily a good thing, I imagine. There are many terrifying Aussie legends. But yeah, I'll give that a 5 out of 5 for flavour. And a 0 out of 5 for naming. I mean, come on, man, just a little bit of effort. You could shape it like something, and then call it that. Good. Tim Tams. Tim Tams. I don't know what a Tim Tam is. Sounds like an amusing noise. Now, that looks like a penguin, which is an English biscuit. Looks like a penguin. Smells like a penguin. Kind of a velvety, crunchy chocolate biscuit. It's a penguin. Now, admittedly, I don't know what penguins have got to do with chocolate biscuits. Very unrelated. But then I don't know what a Tim Tam is either. So I'm not going to judge you on that until I find out what Tim Tam means, if anything. Right, time for the old Anzac biscuits. Anzac, I believe, is Australian and New Zealand's army something? Army? Something begin with C? Army guys, let's say. That's biscuit. It's a solid biscuit. Yeah, biscuit, see, Americans, not what you think. You probably call it a cookie because you like to be special. But the Australians and I, this is a biscuit. It's an Anzac biscuit. Oh, it's a tough one. I mean, it's alright. It's a biscuit. I get the feeling these are kind of like ration biscuits. They're not meant to be enjoyable. They're meant to get you through the day. The sort of biscuit you give, you know, if you got a ring you need dropping in Mount Doom. These are the biscuits you take with you. Put that in your hobbit face. Definitely the most joyless biscuit I've ever eaten. But, oh, good. Good, yeah. It'll do. Right, let's go back to savoury. Extremely savoury. Now, don't know much about Vegemite. Never seen the appeal. Don't know what it's made of. Evil, maybe. Concentrated evil. I was warned beforehand by the person who sent this that I should probably spread it very thinly on some toast. But I found that to be an affront to my manhood. So I'm just going to do this the manly way. That already looks unpleasant, doesn't it? I'll put this in my mouth now. Oh God, it tastes like boots. Oof. That's a bit much. When I was in uni, I got really drunk and tried to make some soup out of beer. It tasted a bit like this. It tasted like somebody's made jam out of Guinness. Which, it's not a terrible idea. I might put that on some toast later. Or I might throw it in the fucking bin. Right, need something sweet again now. The old cherry ripe. Imagine calling it cherry ripe, honestly. You sound like a sex offender. Yeah, go open that. Open that cherry ripe. Take it off, you bitch. I feel kind of weird about putting this in my mouth now. That's alright, it's like conventional, fruity kind of coconut. A fruity coconut chocolate covered bar. It's nice. It'll do. It's maybe not top of the Halloween bag, but you wouldn't egg the old lady who gave it to you. If you were really mean. I mean, I don't know how cherry-like that is. It's pretty much the same with all sorts of candy fruit, isn't it? It's vaguely fruit-flavoured. Speaking of sweeties, the Violet Crumble. I assume it's called Violet Crumble because of the colour of the packaging. It looks like just a standard kind of honeycomb chocolate bar. See? Honeycomb. It's not too far off a crunchy. It's nice. It's nice. It's a little bit darker than a crunchy, a little bit sexier. I wouldn't kick this out of bed. I am the sort of man who goes to bed with candy bars. It's a strange thing to admit on camera, isn't it? Redskins. It's a quick way to get your video demonetized. Fucking hell. Might take a while. I have to get a spoon, get this out of my teeth. Right. That was a lot of effort. Effort to reward ratio, not that great. 2 out of 5 for flavour because it just tasted like generic chew. Could have been any chew. And another 0 out of 5 for names. So I don't get demonetized. Alright, last but not least, little caramel koala bear. Sure, everybody's got their own kind of caramel. I don't know, does every country have their own dairy milk, caramel, chocolate animal? We've got a toad in England. Says it all, really, doesn't it? Fucking chocolate toad, Freddo. Australians got a koala bear, which, as I have mentioned, is a horrible, filthy, disgusting animal filled with STDs. Gonna eat it anyway. Let's eat his face. That was erotic, wasn't it? Generic chocolate caramel mess. We've all had these. They may come in different shapes, but they're all essentially the same thing. Standard, your granny was in a hurry chocolate bar. I mean, that's it. I was going to get into like these shapes, which are a slightly different shape, or these shapes in their original round. But you know what? I've already eaten quite a lot. I wasn't that taken aback by the Australian treats there. There was nothing too outlandish. Nothing tried to bite me, nothing tried to kill me. Concentrated Vegemite, I have no idea who buys this. Don't know why you would do that to yourself. You know, you're not here for a long time. You may as well not eat Vegemite. You're a penguin derivative. Let's be fair. They were good. I'm not unwrapping anything called Cherry Ripe again. It sounds like a stripper. Your caramel koala bear. I'd get that at home, but it's a frog. Right? Enjoyed this crumble bar. It's possibly my favourite one. I don't see the attraction of it shattering, though. I don't think I've ever went out to buy something, food or otherwise, and thought, really in the mood for something that shatters. Just something that fucking shatters, yeah. But each to their own, I suppose. I hope you enjoyed watching me eat things on the internet. Oh, this was all less horrible than the shit Bevan usually gives me. So, thank you, listener, for your generous Australian food package. I think I'm probably going to give these Anzac biscuits to the birds, just so that they never fly again. Give it to a duck, watch the fucker sink.